Yeah, y'all, we back. So Karmelo Anthony got found guilty of murdering the Metcalf dude. And a lot of people they mad about the verdict because they feel like that the two dudes was approaching him and he just used the knife to defend himself, but he wasn't trying to kill a man or nothing like that. So I mean, it's gonna be a sad situation, y'all. But I'm gonna keep y'all posted because there's gonna be a lot going on behind this. So let's check this out.
Uh, it says here, Lori is telling us, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder. That is the verdict from the jurors, according to Lori Brown, who is in the courtroom.
Okay, we're hearing that first. Guilty of
Right.
murder. We are finding that out.
And I think Russell Wilson, with the brevity of
Right.
this deliberation, I don't think that's a surprise to many people.
All right. So, I mean, what we know is that, they've rejected the self-defense claim. They believed that the use of deadly force in response to the shove was excessive.
Mhm.
And that's not necessarily a surprise based off of the totality of the circumstances. So I think, that was their verdict.
Now we'll see what happens with this jury in the punishment phase.
Right. So we're probably going to see a brief break, and the parties will get a chance to gather themselves, if you will, and the judge would have to decide if he wanted to go ahead and begin the punishment phase.
Now, I don't think the trial was shown on like TV because I didn't see it. But at the same time though, I seen a lot of people was mad about the lawyer. Like a lot of people were saying the lawyer wasn't good at all. And that's the one thing I kept hearing a lot. So once you start to see a lot of people saying they feel like the lawyer not good, you should know that a guilty verdict is coming. Like off top, if the lawyer bad, you definitely more than likely gonna get found guilty. I don't know, because like I said, I ain't seen the case. I was trying to keep up with it. I was reading up on it, but the common thing I kept reading was that the lawyer was trash. You know what I'm saying? You can't go into no case like this with no BS lawyer. A lot of people called a lawyer. They said he was really like a public defender. You know what I'm saying? And I hope not, but a lot of people were saying that's like how they looked at him. Like they said he was terrible. And the whole jury was white. So a bad lawyer with an all-white jury, yeah, you cooked.
Of the case, maybe in 15, 20 minutes or so, or if he wanted a break. Given that he's got the jurors sequestered, I think that they will get back started on testimony probably relatively quickly.
Let me ask you a question. You have a client who is a teenager who's a 3.8 GPA, has no bad record, has no juvenile history, has no engagement with law enforcement, has made this decision that has left him guilty of murder. How do you work in the punishment phase? What do you try to do to limit?
I mean, I think you gotta first you want to console your client and the family briefly, but you're gonna have to quickly turn to your anticipated punishment evidence, which is going to be the state again going first. You're going to hear more character information. It takes a while when you get an adverse verdict for the person to really accept and understand it. The state may be moving to have his bond held insufficient, meaning that if he walked in the courthouse today, that he won't be walking out tonight. Your client's going to have a whole lot of anxiety. The range of punishments, 5 to 99 years. When you hear a guilty verdict of murder, you're certainly going to see your life flash before you. because you recognize you could face imprisonment for the rest of your life. The attorney, if you get everybody calm down, you need to start thinking of your most mitigating factors. Probably here will be age of the offender and no criminal history.
And let me
And
ask you,
so,
while I
go
have
ahead.
you, Russell, let's talk about the converse side of that. Let's talk about at the prosecution table. I have
And then y'all see, it's a lot of the white people arguing with the black people because a lot of the white people feel the dude Austin Metcalf shouldn't have got killed, and a lot of the black people feel like what dude and his brother was about to jump Karmelo. Now the problem with the whole situation is the fact that people are saying that, you know what I'm saying, like both of the brothers that like they approached them, but they didn't jump on them. They wasn't like beating them up. You know what I'm saying? And it was mostly the conversation was mostly between Karmelo, you know what I'm saying, and Austin, I guess. And it's just an overall bad either way it go, it's a bad situation. Some about they wanted him to get out the tent because he was from the opposing team. So he shouldn't have been in that tent or whatever. But you know how we giving it up. You tell us to do, we ain't finna go nowhere. Cause you said go somewhere. We ain't going nowhere. Like, nah. Because you tell us to go somewhere, that's gonna make us stay right there where we at. There you can ask. But when you tell, we not moving nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And they say that's what happened, man. And it's a bad situation, man.
I have covered trials where you were the prosecutor and you
Right.
secured the win in the courtroom. You got the
Right.
conviction. What happens to the family of your victim in this moment? What do you say to them as the prosecutor?
We're actually there's a sense of relief for them regarding the verdict being the verdict that they wanted it to be. But you're still preparing as well as the prosecutor. So you'd say, brief words of comfort. The family usually experiences some degree, like I said, of relief. And then I'm probably talking to them about who our first witnesses are. Maybe I'm wanting to go get, maybe I'm bringing a mom and I want baby photos. I want the graduation that was missed. I want the life to be expanded and explained, and for people to understand just what the loss was.
Maybe his
So
twin
I'm
brother
lining up
now, huh?
people.
Maybe
Yeah,
the twin
yeah.
brother.
I'm lining up people to. Um,
And you know what I'm saying? That sound good and all, but he still got convicted of murder. They still trying to, even though they trying to dress it up like he's not a monster, the more they try to dress it up that he's not a monster, the more those people make him look like he is a monster, you know?
to emphasize the impact of the death, and both of these young men, I think, had no known criminal history or things like that. There's no drugs involved. They're both in high school athletics. So both sides will be talking about the promise of the individual. And the state will, of course, be saying, our chance to come into our promise is gone.
Right.
And the defense will be saying, that the gravity of what was done is struck now in a different way.
Yes.
And they'll be getting Carmelo's parents ready as well, I think, to testify.
I
And
just
so
want.
you're
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's it. I was going to say, so you're likely to hear, the gut wrenching impact of death from the viewpoint of the victim and the viewpoint of the defendant. And you'll see a family I don't know if they'll ask for a specific range or a specific number of punishment. But that's what I think is you're going to see unfold, and that's what we see unfold in punishment hearings on murder cases all the time.
How about the jurors now, too? I want to stay with what's going to happen in that courtroom because this is where we are now.
Right. Some of the jurors, it will depend. Some of the testimony was emotional. In very, very emotional cases, the jurors themselves still aren't going to be free to talk with anybody or anything like that. So I think they would need to remain relatively composed, and they have to still address what the punishment is. And there will be, perhaps broader disagreement on how you punish this crime.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got a universal agreement on, and then you have laws, when it comes to how you set punishment, the jury instructions are very broad. It just basically says you can consider the person's background and nature, but what makes a person say a life sentence versus what makes a person say a lower number, and how firmly they feel about any of these things. The jury instructions and punishment will advise jurors that it's an aggravated offense, meaning that any sentence that's imposed, that he would not be eligible for parole until at least one half of that sentence is served.
Correct.
And so jurors sometimes are there, they'll instruct it not to, may say, if we impose a 20-year sentence, then he could not get out until 10 years. And you may have the prosecution, saying, that Austin would have lived until, into his 70s. And that's what we've lost. And so you're going to have those arguments shaped, I think, real time. And a lot of jurors.
Yeah, that's the worst part because his sentence is up in the air. He could end up getting, I think they said up to like 99 years or something like that. And like I said, man, it's a bad situation. He ain't really had no witnesses on his side. Trash lawyer, all white jury. I mean, Karmelo ain't have a chance at beating this case, bro, at all. Like, it was just set up for him to get hung from the very beginning. And what a lot of people don't understand is if I approach you and I haven't touched you yet, and then you touch me back, you know what I'm saying? Or like I haven't attacked you and then you hit me with a weapon or something like that, it's like you can't really call it self-defense. Like, and self-defense has to be equal. And I guess they saying that, Will, because it was him and his brother that approached him. I get that, but if the brother didn't do anything, now they make it sound like the brother ain't do nothing, like the brother wasn't a part of the scuffle at all. They make it sound like the brother approached him with him and then like he just stabbed him. That's like what the brother saying. The brother ain't said he put hands on him, he touched him, he did this, he did that. So, it's a mess, man. And the brother up there, he went and crying and all that, and he killed my brother in front of me, and I know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, ain't no jury in America. Like, you have the witness that witnessed his brother get killed right in front of his face. It's like, most people gonna convict you and make you guilty, bro.
Jurors will often say that it's more difficult to decide the correct punishment in a case. And these are tougher areas for the lawyers as well. There's not it's very low chance that a case gets reversed because the number is wrong, if you will. So you can't, if 20 can be right, 5 can be right, and 55 can be right.
Mm-hmm.
It's really all up to the jury And so, the defense needs to attempt to put pressure on the jury, if you will, regarding the gravity of that. And the same with the state.
Right,
The
because you wouldn't
state will
expect the state to suggest 10 or 20 years.
No, absolutely not. I don't think that they would suggest that. I think that they would suggest much more significant punishment numbers.
Mhm.
This kind of gets into what we would see in the way of what we're going to hear in punishment. So without knowing what evidence they intend to put on, if it's just what I would call the emotional impact evidence, but they could get into there may have been some scientific testing done, more information about Carmelo, maybe more about his background, and that, maybe more questions, more answers as to what would have happened in his life that would have caused him to appear with a knife at the track meet this day. So those are all possibilities.
All right, so like I said, we got more updates coming, y'all. But this to start, I'm gonna keep y'all updated with it. But like I said, man, he was in a a bad look from the beginning, and it's also people that still talking about the Chinese dude that had killed that other boy from the store when they said he stole some water or something, and they were saying like he shot him in the back, and he killed him, and a lot of people feel like he should have been found guilty, and he was found innocent. But what people got to understand is, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations, man, it be different circumstances. Me and you could have the same case. I might beat it, you might not beat it. It all depends on every case. When it comes to the courts and the laws and all that, every case don't go the same. And theirs had slight differences too. I still feel like he should have went to jail because he shot that boy in the back. But hey, man, like I said, it's crazy. But y'all get in the comment section to let me know what y'all think about all this. Check out the playlist. It's your boy Buddha. I'm out.